Hi, Dr. Jim Gishwin here, BC. Happy Veterans Day, folks. But I know there's a lot of veterans out there that are thinking a little differently this year about things. I look at what's going on, and I look at the students I have in high school, and I see the students that are in college. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if that's our future, we might have a big problem. Okay? I think after 2024, if we don't turn things around, America will be a totalitarian state, police state. It seems like it, a one-party state, just like Russia, and an oligarchy. And since we got so many crooks running our country, I guess we could call it a kleptocracy, huh? Just like the Russian mafia running Russia, with Putin at its head. Anyway, I'm sorry. I fought communism most of my life. And my dad did too. During the Cold War, pre-Cold War, my dad was a great military man. I got two grandsons in the service now. And I'm a two Blue Star family, I guess. And they're fifth generation. Because their father was an intelligence specialist chief, just like I was. Just like their grandpa was. But I see what's going on. You know, when I was growing up, we didn't sit there and have people out there praising terrorists. Okay? From the 60s on, the progressive movement has infiltrated our schools, infiltrated our government. They control everything. If you remember during the pandemic, a lot of people couldn't go to church, even if it was an outdoor one in a drive-in theater. I mean, you go figure that one out. So, yeah, the United States is becoming a socialist or communist Marxist society. And the students that are in college now are encouraging it, loving it, welcoming it. And myself, as well as a lot of other veterans, are sitting there going, what the hell did we serve for? Why? With all this going on? Where is patriotism? Where is Americanism? I provide scholarships for high school seniors, and they have to sit there and at least give me 2 paragraphs on what Americanism means to you. And I'm not getting applications. No one wants to apply. No one wants to go to college. Well, to a certain extent, I can understand that. You don't really need to. Okay? I spent, another 16 years in college after high school, here and there. You should see what I had to turn into school for our certification is about this thick. All courses I've taken in my life. The VA used to sit there and send me test proposed courses just because they knew I took them all. All right? I just wanted to learn. Students today don't want to learn. I'm getting 1 or 2 out of a class of 20 or a class of 15. I had one quote-unquote debate me, but all it was him talking for 15 minutes. I gave him extra credit for expressing his views. And I'll give that to them whether or not I agree with them or not, because I want them to be able to get it out. But when they sit there and copy someone else's view or something like that, I'll mark them down on it. I'm saying, is this your thought? Did you research this? And I said, one told me, he said, prove it. I said, look, I've written for newspapers, I've written for magazines, I was a radio disc jockey, I've worked at TV stations. I was an intern, for God's sake, at Channel 4, I think it was. Mom, correct me if I'm wrong. When I was like 14 in Honolulu, Hawaii, going to St. Louis High School. And I'm telling you, okay, everything is different. They can change a headline just like I changed my trick questions on my tests for them to get them to read properly and research. Okay? All you have to do is change one word or omit some words. An example is NBC. Man falls to the ground during protest against Hamas and hits his head and dies. The actual story was Jewish man was hit on the head and fell down and hit his head again and died during an anti-Hamas demonstration. During a pro-Hamas demonstration where there was Jews present. Sorry. That's an example. You know, all we have to do is twist it. We haven't had anyone legal since Walter Cronkite. He was probably more liberal than anyone alive today, but you wouldn't know it by his broadcast because he did what was taught. Who, what, when, and why. If you want to do an editorial, it goes on the editorial page. It goes in the editorial section or something on the TV. And I've done TV editorials, too, up in Washington, D.C. Okay? I mean, the world has changed. The world is changing. When I teach world history, I remind them, I said, remember, empires, the actual strength of an empire, only lasts about 450 years. We're getting towards the tail end of ours. Okay? The mid-1700s to 2100 or 2000. I don't know if I'll be alive to see the first person on Mars. And I'm wondering what that will entail. Is that going to entail a military dictatorship on Mars for a colony? What? What are we taking forward to our kids and our grandkids? Our great kids and the grandkids don't even know about 9/11, for God's sake. They don't know anything about it. And so you got another generation that I got to teach. If someone declares war on you, if a movement, not a government, declares war on you, hey, take it seriously. That was our mistake in 9/11. We didn't take it seriously. They declared war on us, a fatah on us in the 1990s. And we sat there and said, oh, yeah, that's just a bunch of radicals talking. Okay, you see where that got us. And now they're doing it to us again. And we're letting them across the border. I asked my class once, I said, how many of these gotaways do you think are really terrorists? And they said 50%. But then I turn around to them again, and I sit there and say, well, don't you know you're at risk? Don't you know you're a target? They call us the big Satan, and you're a Christian. That's 2 strikes against you. Okay? And you're in a Christian school. Boy, what a target, right? For a Muslim strategist. Terrorist. They're not strategists, they're terrorists. They'll just do whatever they want whenever they can. Anyway. And then I turned to them and I said, don't you understand you're at risk? And they said, oh, nothing's going to happen here. I said, don't you remember the shooting on Naval Air Station Pensacola just a couple of years ago? Oh, there was one? Lordy. Ladies and gentlemen, as a veteran, I'm sitting there saying, what did I do? Waste my time? What did my dad do? Waste his time? What did my brothers and sisters do? Waste their times? And my son? And my son-in-law? And now my 2 grandsons? What are they doing? Are they being taught to kill the enemy? Well, God bless you all. Happy Veterans Day, if you feel like it, to my sister Peggy, my brother-in-law Chuck, my brother Richard in Germany, my son JJ, former Marine, my son-in-law Richard, and my 2 grandsons, Donovan, Donnie, and Deidrean. Donovan, Air Force Special Ops, Pope Air Base, And Deidre going through R brancher training, cryptologic R brancher training down here in Pensacola. God bless you all, and to all your families, your girlfriends, your none of my grandsons except one is married now, but they all got women. And I ain't got no great grandbabies. Get busy, guys. So I'm going to sit there and say, God bless you all, and my Father in heaven, and my grandfather in heaven, who was Signal Corps Reserve after World War I and before World War II, and a cop, first responder. God bless you all. I love you. I'm worried. I'm somewhat disgusted. But God bless you all. Take care. I remain your humble servant. Take care.